So I was just jotting down some notes. And I thought, you know, we as people can always go back to, writing by hand instead of, just typing something, you know. And, um, so will books and like writing be ever out of style, you know? So evolution is an interesting thing to think about. I'm reading off of my notes right here, so I'm just gonna read all of it. Species change and evolve to adapt to the changes and evolutions of nature. It's interesting because you see a lot of adaptations left behind, but you see some stay. Fish decided to leave. Fish decided to live partially on land until eventually they could live on land without going back to the water. They got rid of their gills but kept their tails. It's just interesting to see some stuff change, but some stay the same, like the saying. It's just interesting to see some stuff change, but some stay the same, like the saying. I like to think about stuff like that and compare it to modern life. That's what I like to do, compare. Look at children. To get their point across, babies would cry. Um, it wasn't the only reason, but babies would cry. Then they got a little older and they still cried. Some cried because they're spoiled, but some cried to express themselves. Now, as they got older, they realized crying wasn't the solution. So we, as we got older, let go of that part of ourselves and evolved. And a lot we kept. But now, as I'm writing this, I think, what part of society did we keep and did we change? Mainly, I'm thinking of writing by hand in books and typing. We have typing on computers now, but we can always come back to writing by hand. It's a very useful tool. I think we will always have that. I mean, think about it. In a war-like situation, in a warlike manner, writing letters would come in handy in situations where it's needed. Coming up with a language is a very advanced idea when you think about it. But will books ever go out of fashion? I think it will. Text doesn't take up as much space on a phone, and considering everyone has one, books will probably fade. Books would probably fade. Although I don't think it will stop people from writing by hand to jot down ideas every now and then. Yeah, that's just what I wrote down for now. I jotted this down right now, but it's only a page and a half. When I said that's what I like to do is compare, that's what I do like every time I think about something. It's my train of thought goes on a like a rampage, on a rant. It goes on a rant and it just keeps going. And I think analytically, like very much so, like there's some celebrities who are like, oh, I think differently, or you should see how I think, or like, I think differently than everybody else. But I just think a lot. So, and I think analytically. So when you like, what I mean by comparing is like, it's hard to, how you like have an idea and then how you have like an idea and then you compare it, like, oh, what if, how is that different? Like, because with the evolution thing, like, we keep things but we also change things, and it's like, well, you can apply that to a lot of things. Society changes and evolves, and we as people grow up and change. You know, reading or watching a movie that changes every second. Like something's always happening in the movie, especially if it's like an action movie or something, superhero movie. But it's always changing. It's always something's happening. Some stuff stays the same. In a movie, the characters stay there, the people in the movie stay there, and not even don't even just think about one movie. Think about like how movies in general change. You know, a lot of the movies like they have the same story and they're always freaking playing the same tune. So it's like that changes and evolves too. So soon like there'd be a different way to tell a movie, or there'll be a different way to tell a story. Like instead of a movie, you're, playing a video game. That's like a story too. But I'm going off. Think about like what the next genre of movie could be. You know, space exploration. I don't know about that. But yeah. Yeah.